So today our session is about Dell MC surveillance solution. We will talk about most of the surveillance product that Dell MC provide to the market, and how to differentiate Dell MC product than others in the competition, and how to sell, how to focus on the strong selling point of Dell MC, and how to make you more familiar about Dell MC product dedicated for surveillance solution. But first, let's talk a little bit about the field of the surveillance and what are the challenges that we all face in the market right now. So first of all, there's changes in the surveillance technologies that are leading to huge increases of the data. When we talk about the data here, we talk about the videos and all the data that is also linked to the videos. This growth can be largely attributed in mostly 4 trends in the market right now. The first trend is the emergence of new devices. Emergence of new surveillance technologies such as drones, body cam, license plate recognition, and all these kind of new devices that was never before exist. This emergence of new devices leads to a huge increase of the data. When we talk about huge increase in data, we talk about huge increase in the needs of the storage, and how big is the storages, and how capable is the servers to process all these data. So that was the first trend, is that the emergence of new devices. The second trend that also lead to a significant increase in data is the existence of 4K multi-megapixel resolution. That's all on the rise due to the new on video quality. Earlier we talked about 2CEF, 4, even like maximum 720p. So now it's not accepted anymore. It's not existed anymore. We are talking about high megapixel camera and high resolution. This is the new requirement in the market. This become with a price. This came with a price. Price you have to pay in the network, in the storage, and in the processing power. The third trend is the number of cameras. How many cameras people use right now? There's increased camera count with larger video retention times. So it's not only about number of camera increased, but also retention times increased, because especially in the public and safety industry. Why? Because evidence is required to be held for a longer period. Even sometimes it has to be there permanently. So you can see the demand now in the market is for high retention period. I will give example in Saudi, for example. 2 years back, banking sector are not required to record for long periods. But with the new regulation came in 2019, the Central Bank of Saudi, they released a new regulation that required, ask the bank and demand the bank and urge the bank to maintain all the evidence for at least 6 months. And they also, the new regulation also states that number of camera has to be increased in a certain amount. So, for example, in the bank, in a branch, you have to put a certain amount of camera to cover a specific location in the branch. That was earlier not exist. Earlier it was not exist. Now new regulation is demanding and forces people to increase the camera counts and increase the video retention times. That's the third trend that make significant increase in the data. The last and also important trend is the expanding of citywide surveillance systems. This is to assist public safety, monitor traffic, residential regulation. Uh, that that requirement or that demand increased because people now start to use CCTV not for security purposes only. They use it for different application. Traffic monitoring. The most of the cities now, smart cities project is the core of the smart city project is the surveillance or the camera, because you can get a lot of information just from a frame or a video coming from a surveillance camera. You can get information about the status of the traffic. You can get information about the parking lots. You can get information about accidents and incident in the street. So the core of the surveillance project for smart cities is the video and the camera, and that become a very huge increase in the demand for data. All these four trends represent, let's say, a challenge for people who are working in the security, because every vendor, every manufacturer need to, let's say, provide to the market the product that can serve in all these trends and all application in the market. So camera manufacturer need to provide high megabit resolution, and of course they have to focus on the compression. VMS software vendors need to provide a new version that can accommodate a huge number of camera on the single system. Hardware vendors like Dell or others in the market need to provide high capable servers that can process all these data, high capable switches that can accommodate all and transport all the data from the cameras to the back end. The storage solution providers also need to provide storage that is scalable, that can accommodate a huge amount of data, a huge amount of video, and in the same time, still you can retrieve the video, you can archive the video, you can process the video in the storage itself. So these challenges are met by Dell EMC as per to the hardware part, the server, the network, and the storage. As we said, this huge significant increase in data uh, make the organization need to shift their way of thinking about the surveillance data and how they treat their surveillance application. So most of our organization now are asking for architecture that is open architecture, scalable architecture, and enterprise ready in order to manage their current and future data sources demands. So there are four solutions to, or four, let's say, uh, factors we have to consider in order to face the challenge of increasing the data. First, scaling for the future. Second, shifting to enterprise model. And third is embracing the open platform. And of course, all this has to be easy to deploy. So for scaling for the future, when you purchase a product or organization need to work on a new project, they have to ask how easy for them to manage the growing volume of surveillance solution. Uh, are they going to accommodate these videos on premises or on clouds? Um, you have to ask all these questions when you have a new project to yourself or to your customer. Will they be adding new devices? And what about the retention requirement expected to change later on? What kind of procedures to manage the surveillance data across all the life cycle of the project? Can the network sufficiently handle the video traffic or not? So, in order to find the right solution that's scalable for the future, you have to ask all these questions and you have to find the answer for all this. Shifting to enterprise, again, another set of questions you have to answer it along with your customer. If they want the software update to be tied to the hardware or not, how quickly they need to, let's say, re-innovate and renew the system, how easy to integrate with other systems and different kind of data and legal investigations devices or systems. Are they considering to the cost to purchase and manage? I mean, with the this kind of agreement can be done. Do they want a platform that map the data volume or not? So if you answer all these questions, you can find the right solution that will shift to enterprise model. Again, another set of questions about the open platform. Do they need to analyze the data or not? Because if they want to analyze the data, that means you have to integrate with other systems that will help to analyze the data. That means you need a really open platform with a capability of integration. How satisfied with the integration of the surveillance with their IT infrastructure in the project. Uh, Easy to deploy, of course. We cannot go for a very complex solution that will be hard to deploy or hard to maintain. So again, we have to consider the easy to deploy factor. If we answer all these questions, we'll have a clear vision, a clear picture about the project and how to deal with the project, what kind of product we can provide. Why we have to go to Dell? We can sell Dell because Dell can meet all the requirements we talked about in the last two slides. They'll introduce the architecture into the industry, which is built for surveillance. It's not like a product for IT application and then we grab it and put it for surveillance application. No, they can provide a product that's built for surveillance application. It can accommodate and deal with the workload of the videos and surveillance. Second, also, which is really amazing, that Dell for the last maybe 6, 7 years in a row, they are the first storage provider and infrastructure surveillance infrastructure provider around the world. They are the number one as per to IHS. So if the surveillance infrastructure is the foundation of your project, Dell EMC are obviously is the your choice for your demand or your project. Third reason why we can go for Dell, why people go for Dell is that Dell EMC has the industry top surveillance, storage, and infrastructure ecosystem with leading surveillance vendor that are capable of building proven video and surveillance management software into your architecture that will enhance the security, enhance the applying the application, performing the analytics. So this kind of ecosystem is unique for Dell EMC. You cannot find any other vendor in the competition that can provide this kind of ecosystem with other, uh, let's say, a proven video surveillance management software. And of course, the industry largest, most advanced validation labs. With Dell EMC, you can find all the document that can support your architecture. When you have a solution, when you have a design, and you need to provide it to your customer, you need something to back you up. And you need something that will tell the customer my design is right. My design is practical. My design is the best. And in order to do that, you have to get a valid documents. These kind of valid documents that can support your design is provided by Dell EMC, because they already have the largest surveillance validation labs that can um, give you all the data you need during your design and to support you how to validate your design. Again, we are talking here about open platform scalable infrastructure. Uh, this kind of scalable open platform infrastructure coming from Dell is suitable for any architecture. So any surveillance infrastructure you are talking about, if your system gonna be distributed system or a centralized system or even cloud-based system, then MC can provide you with the right product. So whatever your design is, how you will design your system, still the MC can provide you the right product for your design. Okay. So they design, because they'll design the working reference architecture that will reflect how they'll complement your propriety. This is meant like a starting guide with flexibility in every individual technologies. Um, so the key point here that you can focus with your customer on is either your system is distributed or centralized or cloud based. Still, Dell MC can give you the whole three things: the open platform, the scalable infrastructure, and the reliability. So there's no restriction about the system design architecture type, whether is your type distributed, centralized, or cloud. You can find, you can gain the whole benefits from open and scalable infrastructure. This slide is giving you idea how the MC can provide end-to-end solution. So as you can see on the top, different number of cameras that refers to different project size. So starting from small, very small project of 16 camera or less to a huge project with 1,000 camera or more. Still, the NMC has different product serves in different architecture layer. So you can find here all the architecture layer: acquire, transport, aggregate, act, and retain. And here is sub-layers about the transport, for example, networking, security, and data protection, aggregate, analyze, management, computing, storage, external storage, and converged storage. And here, act, central monitoring, and so on. So you can find with all the architecture layer and the function of each architecture layer, you can find the right product that can serve with different sizes of project. As you can see, most of this of the slide is in green colors. Only two things that they do not provide till now is the cameras and the video management software. Then the rest of the system can be built on Dell itself. The rest of the system can be built on Dell itself, Dell product. That means one vendor, you have a peace in mind regarding the integration and the performance of this of the whole system. Because if you get the network, if you get the servers, if you get the workstation and storage coming from single vendor, you are 100% guarantee the performance of your system. You have a peace of mind about uh, how to maintain the system, how to integrate the system with each other. So that means a lot of saving in efforts and money and time as well. Another slide is talking about the same idea, is about again, the deployment size, whatever is your deployment size. And if you talk about servers and networking and storage, you can see different products that can serve in different deployment size. So for example, in the storage, you can start with MD or small and medium project, then SCV if you need even more cameras, and of course the I04 huge and large camera count products, camera count projects. Yes, again, we talk about the distributed and decentralized and the cloud. Whatever your architecture is, you can find the right product. But here, this I want to focus here about three things only from this slide. Uh, it's about the key selling words that we use in different project architecture. So if we talk about distributed solution, a distributed solution, most of the people who are asking for distributed solution actually care about three things, about the high bandwidth and the reliability and affordability. This is the main concern of the organization that seek for distributed solution. So they are, let's say, if we have a retail project, they have 100 branch, for example, 4 or 5 camera, 10 cameras in each branch. People are seeking for always care about and concern about the high bandwidth, the reliability and affordability, because in each branch they will install the cameras, the NVRs, small NVRs, and then in another branch the same thing. So for them, it's very, very important to know about the high bandwidth and reliability and how much does it cost for distributed. But for centralized project, we usually don't use the same words because customers who are seeking for central usually are seeking for for a system that can accommodate a huge number of camera in one location. So their main concern is the massive scale. Is the system is scalable or not? They need a massive scale hardware infrastructure, and they need, of course, to do some analytic ready, and they need to, let's say, guarantee the archiving and all other features that related to a centralized project with massive scale of cameras. So we normally in the market, I can see people use the wrong word for the wrong project. So he can talk about the affordability all over the way. No, when we talk about centralized and massive scale project, affordability is second to concern for the customer. His main concern is the complexity of the system to be less. He need analytic ready project, analytic ready system. He need to ensure the archiving and all other feature related to his system. When we talk about cloud-based solution, another keywords we have to use. You are a salespeople, you need to use the right word that will open the door for you. So for cloud solution, no, we are talking about people who care, or the main concern is the faster infrastructure. He need to operate his system as soon as possible, even immediately. He will ask for immediate action and the immediate operation. So his concern is about the faster infrastructure and deployment. And of course, he's talking, his second concern is the elastic system. He needs an elastic system that he can expand whenever he want. And of course, cloud can provide all this. If you use the right word, you will open the door for yourself for the customer. Don't go for a customer who need a cloud-based solution and talk about the affordability and the reliability. No, this is the wrong word. Don't go for a centralized, for a distributed solution and talk to him about the massive scale and the analytic ready. It's not his main concern. So I'm always care that everybody work with the MC know which word he can say to which customer. You have to segregate or differentiate between different projects and what kind of word you will use. Again, another slide talking about the validated partner solution. As I said before, you need somebody who can support your design. And of course, because Dell has extensive validated partner solution, so as you can see, huge number of main uh, surveillance vendors here, starting from virtualization security up to VMS and analytics. Everybody has already working with Dell EMC in multiple projects around the world, and the whole system is validated. So you have a peace of mind when you do your design. You know that this kind of design mostly happen in some part of the world, and it's working, it is fine, it is okay, it is validated, and this validation will support your design in front of your customer. Why you need some validation? Of course, you need validation to support you in front of your customer. Second is to reduce the deployment risk, because you can follow what have been done already. You can reduce the deployment risk. You know exactly when you put this server with this kind of storage, with this number of camera and VMS, you know the results from the beginning. So this will decrease the deployment risk. It will reduce the support requirement. You don't need a huge support from your vendor or any IT existing in the project. You will reduce the support requirement, and you will provide a known performance baseline for production environment. And of course, the reference architecture and the white paper is available for you, so it will help you in the design process. So this kind of validation, it's not easy thing. No, actually, it's a practical thing you can use. And starting from the design, you can use the reference architecture, you can use the white paper, you can use the sizing guideline coming in order to support your design. And then even after that, it will reduce your support requirement, it will reduce your deployment risk. We talk generally about the key strong point for Dell, how Dell is represent themselves in the market. Let's go a little bit for Dell EMC portfolio for surveillance solution. I need you to be familiar with at least the most famous product from Dell EMC in the market right now. So first we talk about the computing device, and of course, many of you has been working with Dell and know very familiar about the series of servers. But we will talk now about how to sell these servers, what kind of words and you can use to sell your server, what kind of things that Dell MC actually do for their product to differentiate their product than others in the market. But first, we have to know that we are now in the middle of two era. We actually now between the era of IT transformation and the era of the digital transformation. Earlier, organization actually used the IT and optimized the IT for the business. If I have a bank, I need a very strong data center because it will help me to do my banking business in a better way. So IT is optimized for the business itself. But now we are going, or started already, to go to the digital transformation. What's the difference? In the digital transformation, IT itself is the business. So instead of putting a data center to serve my banking business, actually now the IT itself become the business. Why? Because now I have a portal, I have online banking, I have a mobile application for the bank. Everything is done by the IT. Nobody actually goes to the branch Mostly we don't go to the branch anymore. We don't go to the bank anymore. So IT become itself is the business. Um, what did this happen? Why did this happen? And how it affect the surveillance? Of course, it affect the surveillance because, uh, for example, people start to use the face recognition in banking in order to decrease the number of cards in your pocket. And they start to do this everywhere. They start to do it in the airport because now you can go to the airport and uh, check in the country without even stamp your passport anymore. Halas, you have your face in the database. You put your finger biometric or eye recognition, face recognition, and that's it. You are in the country. And the same is happening different verticals for banking. Some banking now start experimentally start to use the face recognition in order to withdraw or deal with the ATM machines because the camera already exists in the machine, and your photo, your face is already recorded in the system of the bank. So instead of you print you a credit card and the debit card, and you will lose the card, and then the bank will print it to you again, and of course the bank spend a lot of time, a lot of money to do a security for all these cards. So instead of all this, what if we go to the ATM, our face will be captured by the camera, and the system will recognize you as a ex client of the bank, and then you can do whatever you want without even holding a card. This kind of uh, uh, traditional and cloud native application will affect our life in the coming 5 years. So we have to understand that in order to understand the coming demand in the market, and this kind of making the IT itself is the business has to be done with the core of how to do that. The core of how to do that is the servers. You need a processing power. You need high processing power in order to make everything automated, in order to use the artificial intelligence, in order to use the face recognition, in order to use all these kind of trends and new technologies. You have to do it through a processing power, very high processing power. That's what Dell do actually. They'll provide high processing power in different series of servers, different families of servers. Each and every one of them actually is built for a certain purposes. That was like chit chat with you about the business in the current market. So let's go through the core of the new transformation, the servers. Okay, so the server actually is the most important component of the modern IT infrastructure and the primary source of competitive advantage of for a business. So one of the essential component of the modern infrastructure is the server. As a modern infrastructure, start to prepare to handle multitudes of workload. You have very big multitude of workload that are mixed of IT and digital transformation tasks. So it has to rely manage and diverse set of traditional and emerging workload. Why the LMC server, not other server? A lot of reason. I concluded in this 7 reasons. So the LMC means industry leading expertise. People who are in the server industry for tens of years. and single supplier for best-in-class solution. You can upgrade your server and system with Dell MC upgrades, so you don't have to throw servers that old servers you have. Whether it's a storage or a processor or memory, you can upgrade it with the Dell MC upgrades. uh, that the pioneer approach and the product excellence enhancing the business reputation. DLMC innovation, quality, and efficiency. DLMC financial services make it easier for customer to make the IT investment without capital outlay. All this reason will make the choice is to go to the Dell MC Power Edge. Let's talk about uh, the main reason why should we use the LMC server than other servers in the market. The main use actually is the LMC actually face the challenges that people talk about when they are asking for servers. The first challenge is the server adapt and scale to dynamic business needs. Okay, so how dynamic is your portfolio so I can choose the right server? The second thing is the automation to sustain and grow. The third thing is to protect the server itself and protect the business. So first one is the scalable business architecture. The scalable business architecture coming from Dell will face the challenge of adapt and scale. Each Power Edge server is designed on the SPA. That is technology that first and foremost enable the server to optimize for multitude of workload. So it can face different workload. This make the servers highly adaptable and enable seamless scaling, yet perform very efficiently. So the first challenge is already faced by scalable business architecture, SPA, scalable business architecture. Uh, I'm focusing on this kind of work because this kind of work is the key selling point. So the second thing is the automation. Automation means that I don't need manpower all the time to maintain, sustain, and fix my issues with the server. In case I has the automation, this will help to reduce the manpower who are dealing with the system. Intelligent automation feature that Dell MC provide. On every Power Edge platform, there is a boon to business in terms of saving time and resources. So among of all this regarding automation, we'll talk about the iDrake and the Open Manage. This Open Manage is a system management that offering help to automate many routine tasks as well as some complex tasks that you don't need to use manpower in order to do it. It's agent-free embedded server management and standard-based system management solution. These two technologies together provide intelligent automation technology that will help to reduce the manpower and will give you the automation for your system. And this is by default coming with each and every single Power Edge series servers. What's the meaning of that? iDrake means integrated Dell remote access control. This is actually the brain behind the automation feature built on the Power Edge. Does the competitors have something like that in the market? Nobody has this kind of controller because it's an agent free. Others may have something similar to that, but not with all the feature and not for free. This is agent free embedded server management. It will help you to automate all the life cycle of the controller. Actually, it's like an embedded processor that will give the control of your server. Same thing is the Open Manage, which is a standard-based system management solution. This will help you to maintain and automate all the cycle of your server, starting from the deployment phase with updates, monitor, and maintain. It will give you like a chart with all the status of every single thing in the server, the BIOS, the power, the performance, the configuration, the operating system deployment. You can actually monitor your server, whole your server from one single dashboard. So along with the iDrake, Open Management will provide a very unique solution for automation for the server. Why is that important? Because of all this number you can see. You can see 99% less time to deploy your server with Open Management, iDrake, and with Lifecycle Controller, with zero touch auto configuration. This is a lot of money, by the way. It's not only time, because you will need less people to deploy your system. 55% faster configuration of network setting, and 213 hands-on process eliminated. If we talk about like 300 processes that the server do, you have 213 processes. You don't need to use people to do it. 6 times faster of the replacement using the iDrake. If you have something to replace, 6 times faster than others for the replacement. That means less time of system down, and 91% less time to maintain the configuration profile and the accuracy. The third challenge is the resilient architecture that will help to protect your data. So we talked about the scalable business architecture, we talked about the intelligent automation, and the third challenge is to the cyber and architecture that can protect, detect, recover, and real-time uh, in the life cycle of the server. Cyber resilient CRA, and it is at the core of the Power Edge integrated security. The CRA approach is robust since it infused the security mindset right from design of the component to the subsystem to the platform. So all the three challenges that face anybody who are asking for servers for any application are already faced, and Dell EMC provides solution for all these kind of challenges. The CRA, the cyber resilient architecture, the SBA, the scalable business architecture, and the third thing is the automation, the intelligent automation. Let's talk a little bit more about the support. This is services from Power Edge Server Solution. AIM, architect, implement, and manage. You can get these services from Dell for architect. They will provide IT transform workshop. Implement, you can get the pro deployment enterprise suite. You can purchase it, and you will get your server is already pro deploy. And manage, if you choose to go with the Pro Support Enterprise Suite, then the MC can provide the managed service for you. The coming slide is talking about 3-4 product of the series of our series servers, which usually used for surveillance. One of the most popular server is the R440. It's optimized for dense scale, so it's only 1U density. So target workload is the high performance computing streaming deployment. Well, we talk about surveillance, so this device is very suitable for streaming deployment. I usually use the R440 as a management server in a surveillance project. It can work as a recording server, but unfortunately, this server, because it's 1U only, it comes with 2.5 inch drives only. So, or if you use the 3.5, you can accommodate only four hard drive inside it. So it's very suitable to be a management server because it's the target workload is the streaming deployment. The server provide 27% increase in the core. It can accommodate Intel processors, either it's bronze, gold, or silver. So 50% increase in the memories and the bandwidths than others in the market. This is the R440. The R540 is similar to the R440, but with one more advantage that it can accommodate up to 14 hard drive 3.5. So you can actually guarantee almost 140 TP or more inside the single server. The R740, actually, we use it most of the time as a recording server, all analytic server. So the R740, and recently Dell actually released the R750, not 40, the fifth generation of it. This server has a very high input output, and also it can accommodate a GPU for virtual for video analytics. So you can put a GPU inside it, and it is very suitable for streaming and rendering the videos. So usually use it for recording server. This server, sorry.
പിന്നെ എന്റെ പഴയ എംപ്ലോയി നമ്പറാണ് പുതിയാണ് കൊടുക്കേണ്ടത്. പുതിയ കൊടുത്തില്ല.
Can you mute yourself, please?
മറ്റേലൊന്നും അത്
കുഴപ്പമില്ല.
പിന്നെ
അത് ശരിക്ക് ചിലപ്പോ.
Hello, we can hear you. Can you please mute yourself? 740 and 750 with 16 hard drive 2.5 inch or 8 hard drive 3.5 inch. That means almost more than around 200 terabyte on the same server. Of course, we have 740 XD, which even come with more space for hard drive, so it can accommodate 18 hard drive 3.5, and it has the same capabilities of the 740 with more hard drive space. There is also 740 XD2, but it's I don't have slide for it right now. Even can provide around more than 24 3.5 hard drives. So we talked about the servers. Let's navigate a little bit about the storage. What are the storage challenges that people mostly face? Actually, it's four main challenges. First challenge is mounting pressure to do more with less. So people usually have problem with budget shifts and to managing IT infrastructure. Difficult to choose the right IT because product only vendor, and people start to talk about minimizing the risk. We will answer. I can see one question. We will answer all the question end of the session. We still have like 20 minutes more. Increasing the pace of business growth and storage lifecycle complexity. So all these challenges are facing everyone want to deploy a new storage in his system. So what they'll actually provide for this, they'll actually provide cost-effective solution that can suit any budget or any situation, and empower the IT team. Second challenge faced by uniquely qualified, because we are talking about the first number one storage and server in the world, full hardware software portfolio and proven customer focus. They can also provide future proof that their product can work with any workload any protocol, any deployment strategy, any protection strategy. And of course, the last and fourth challenge faced by providing life cycle quality, easy web ordering, all-inclusive software options, self-optimizing architecture, and self-service and support. So each and every challenge facing anybody who want to deploy a new storage have been faced by a solution coming from Dell EMC. Let's talk about one of the most famous families of storage, mid-range storage coming from Dell EMC is the Convenience series family, or the SC. As you can see, SC come with different sizes or different subfamilies, let's say, starting from SCV 3000 up to SC 9020. Mostly we use the SCV for our application for surveillance, SCV 3000. Why? Because actually we don't actually need all the features and the capability of the other SC series for our application. So SCV 3000 is the most suitable for surveillance application. As you can see, what SC series family provide different protocol support. So either it's a fiber channel, iSCSI, or SAS, it can be accommodated in the storage. It also provides the data reduction about doing the compression and deduplication. It can also provide multi-array with a snapshot mobility, replication, and federation. So as you can see, also even the business continuity about the sync replication, the data metro DR and recovery point, all these kind of features will help your customer to first minimize the requirement of the storage. Second, guarantee the high performance. Third, guarantee the safety of the data inside the storage because of all this data reduction and multi-array. We don't have to change our architecture because the storage can work with any different the protocol like SAS or iSCSI or FC. So what I'm trying to say is it can fit all the requirement. It can fit and comply all the requirement for your customer. So SC is one of the best mid-range storage in the market, and the price is also very competitive. Of course, Dell has another mid-range storage solution called ME. ME also has most of the SC features with even less prices. As you can see, something very, very good features here, I want to highlight it, is the volume advisor and volume migrate. This kind of volume advisor and live migrate provide a very important benefit, which is intelligent rebalancing. So if you have multiple nodes or multiple, let's say, devices, the system itself can do the live migrate and give you a volume advisor. This will help you to do the balance all over the nodes, all over the devices automatically. Okay. The second is that it will help you to enhance the system IOPS and CPU utilization and system capacity. So this kind of features, you cannot find it in any mid-range storage in the market except from Dell EMC. Again, another feature is that you actually pay money to use all your resources, all the resources inside the solution you have. So this architecture is always working 100% for the business. Why? Because you will guarantee that it's active controller, not active passive controller. Why is this important? Because this will help you to get the 100% performance from your device. That means that you don't have one controller stand by waiting for the working controller to fail and then start to work. It's not being used most of the time, but with Dell MC, it's active controller. That means if you have two controller, that means both controller are working all the time. In case one of them is fail, the other will take care of the system. But in most cases, in most of the time, you're you have two controller working around the clock, around the hour. Let's talk about Isilon, a few slides, and we will finish because this is the last part of our session today. I know we passed the time, but we need only 10 minutes. As you can see, Isilon is the high-end storage that provided from Dell AMC. Isilon technology is based on something called 1FS or one file system. That means there is a software layer that control all the Isilon and all the processes in the Isilon. And this software layer is talking to everything, mostly everything, with different protocol like HTTP, SMB, FTP, HDFS, any kind of protocol for any others can talk to the 1FS, and 1FS will take the deal. Let's talk about the most important thing that differentiate Isilon than any other traditional storage in the market. Let's talk about first the initial system implementation, how to implement Isilon and how other traditional storage is implemented. As you can see, this is a traditional storage system implementation. A group of cameras connected to a recording server, and this server is connected to a specific storage with logical LANs and volumes here. As you can see, the system is a little bit complex because it has three layers. Layer 1, Layer 2, Layer 3. This will increase the complexity. But with Isilon, we actually eliminate one layer because all the servers are talking to the same storage volume. It's not divided and dedicated for each each server as before. Okay, let's talk about something else. What about the operation? How the system is operated? In traditional storage, you can see a group of cameras send some videos to a specific server, and this specific server is talking to a specific part of the storage, as you can see now. Which is okay, no problem. But we have some volumes which are full and other volumes are less. Why? Because the feeds coming from a specific number of camera is more than the feeds coming from other specific number of cameras. That will lead to some volumes are almost full, some volumes are almost empty. There is no balancing here. What to do? Actually, we have to, in order to do the balance between volume, and in order to make this volume still accepting video, we have to migrate the video from the volume to another volume using the server itself, which make the server busy talking to these volumes instead of making it busy getting videos from the cameras. What about Isilon status? So Isilon solve all this by sending all the files to one volume. There is no dedicated volume for different servers. So one volume receiving all the videos from all the servers. And the system itself, because of the 1FS, will do the balance between all the nodes in the volume. So uniform and automatic data distribution. What about if I move or add or change in the system? In case for traditional storage, you need 2 hours at least to add new volume. And then you need even more hours to migrate the videos from the crowded volume to the new volume. So you need at least 12 hours to migrate the videos and do remapping for the video cameras. What about the case of, again, another case? What if I add more camera? If I add more camera, this volume cannot accommodate it. Why? Because from the beginning, the design is this volume is dedicated for a certain number of camera. And if you increase the camera, the volume cannot accommodate it. So what actually Isilon do as it is like this. You can even add any number of camera as long as all the videos coming to the same destination. And even if you need to add more nodes, you can add it in 2 minutes, and migration will be done automatically inside the Isilon itself. You don't need to use the recording servers. What about if the server itself is out of service, server outage? What will happen in the case of traditional data, the traditional storage? This is what will happen. If the server is out, all these part of the storage will be useless because it cannot be reached, cannot be used. So insufficient and lose of all the recorded data attached to the failed server. And then you have to remap all the camera to go to different servers until the main server return back to work. What Isilon do, nothing will be lost because the video is already there, no overhead needed, no loss of video, no remapping for the storage. If the storage itself fail, not the server, if the storage itself fail, in that case, let's say we have two part of this volume is lost. So the loss of disk result, loss of access to the recorded video. With Isilon, even losing a full entire node, not only disks, there is no loss of video because of a feature called Smart Connect coming with the 1FS. As you can see, Isilon provide a different way to store the data, retrieve the data. So it has a different architecture than the traditional storage. Of course, Isilon is not a cheap product, but it will be very cheap with huge amount of petabyte needed. Why? Because in case you increase the demand increase for the petabyte, in that case, Isilon price per peta is less than any other solution in the market. That was the last slide of our session today, and thank you for listening. We are ready now to receive the questions.